Welcome back to American Agenda. Mr. Biden's border crisis is now being felt in the state of Pennsylvania. According to a new report, flights carrying illegal immigrants are now landing in the Keystone State. These flights apparently happening in the middle of the night under the cover of darkness.
And joining us now to discuss, Pennsylvania Congressman and House Foreign Affairs Committee member Representative Dan Meuser, who recently sent a letter to the Biden administration asking for transparency on this report. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us. Have you received any answers? Let's just begin there.
Yes, Heather, I did. HHS did respond. We were able to have a meeting with them about a week and a half ago. They answered many of our questions. Many questions went unanswered as to why this would be being done in such a clandestine manner. That's highly unacceptable. What's occurred here is we've had at least 13 flights, mostly minors, definitely some adults, flying into eastern and central Pennsylvania, primarily Allentown, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. Very, very upsetting situation, as you can imagine, for my community. So almost 2,000 illegals being flown in, literally in the dead of the night. 2 flights came in on Christmas night. I went to the airport myself the Sunday after Christmas just to find out what I could. Spoke to different folks at the airport who did not want their name disclosed under some sort of fear of retribution, and found out a lot what was going on. So then we had the meeting with HHS. You know, the young people and the illegals, they state, are getting COVID screened, some sort of identification background checks, which frankly, how do you do that when somebody is not carrying ID? So it's a really outrageous situation that is a response to the terrible policies of the Biden administration, having the open border.
What would you like to see done? The reason I ask this is, would you support these folks being flown to, let's say, a Democratic member of Congress that says, yes, come on in, we'll find a place in your community? Or would you like to just see the whole program stop?
Well, this is just the latest problem created by the Biden policy, right? We already have record levels of fentanyl and cocaine and drugs in California, throughout the country, right? The fatalities are the highest ever, Bob. We have these secret flights coming in that are very disturbing to people. No, what should be done is, and I understand HHS is trying to mitigate these disastrous policies of the Biden administration that are putting all these young people from Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico, Venezuela in terrible harm's way. They're being brought across by the cartels. That's who's chaperoning them, along with drugs, and their parents, mother or father, whomever, is paying all kinds of money, and then they're attempted to follow an address to get them to a location in somewhere in, HHS tells me, the New York metropolitan area or New Jersey or New England. So the whole thing is a mess. They're trying to mitigate it through this policy. And yes, you're right. Would it be better if it were South Carolina versus Pennsylvania? Understand that's not, but the point is this policy is terrible, and these kids these young people are facing a terrible, traumatic trip. And they're being coaxed here, frankly, under false pretense, thinking that they'll be free to enter the U.S.
Congressman Meuser, we're having a little issue with the connection with you, but just wanted to ask you, you said there have been at least 13 flights there to Pennsylvania. Did they answer you as to why it was being done under the cover of darkness? You said it was about 2,000 being transported into the dead of night in Pennsylvania. Is this happening in other states as well?
Well, Heather, I believe it is happening in other states, such as Florida. Governor DeSantis has brought that out. But the reason that they're doing it in the dead of night, no, they danced around that better than Fred Astaire. They wouldn't answer that question because they can't, because they know that's wrong. And honestly, they shouldn't do it that way. The people can handle it. We know we have hundreds of thousands of illegals coming to our border. We know our CBP, our Customs and Border, is completely overwhelmed at the border, and we know they're being sent off into different directions. But tell the local community, so we can prepare for it right, what about the schools? How about a school district receiving 40 folks coming in, young people coming in that don't speak English into their school district? That would be something that would be important for them to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be transparent. Transparency. Begin there and then deal with the problem.
And honest.
Okay. Congressman Dan Meuser, thank you very much for bringing it to our attention, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Bob.